The buffer hand, scaring safely with Sammy. The buffer hand is a technique to reduce the probability of you getting hit in the face by the guests. Now, it's not 100%, it's not perfect, and it's not to be used in place of distance, angles, and levels, but on top of that to help reduce the possibility. The idea is that when you're going out for a scare, you are placing your hands, the hand that is not holding the prop, in a position so that it's acting as a buffer between you and whatever part of the guest might be swinging at you. The reason why you do it with the non-prop holding hand, or the off hand, or as the Society of American Fight Directors calls it, the active hand, is because if you're doing it with the prop hand and you step out and they hit you, you're getting a knife to the neck. So always using your active hand, your non-prop holding hand. This is scaring here. So instead of scaring here, you're scaring with the hand up. And the only difference is if you're scaring like this, you have a bigger probability of getting hit in the face. Now, this is not natural. And the reason it's not natural is because there's no other performance discipline that I'm aware of off the top of my head where you have to be worried about the guest swinging at you. So this is purely a haunt technique. So you're scaring and you have your hand up. What you want to do is you want to practice with it so that you get used to it. Here, I'm standing, I'm planting the foot, ready to lunge, and it just comes naturally. I build it into my character. Different hands. I can switch my prop hand, whatever it is, or even if I need to, I can put it in different positions. Placement is important. If you think of this as almost like as an ice hockey goaltender. We're cutting down the angles, we're in position, and the better position that we're in, the better percentage we have of stopping that puck. The better percentage we have of stopping the guest just by where we're angling and placing our hand. So for example, think of the guests. The guests have this reaction zone. This is where it is. They're always walking through the haunt with their hands usually down by the side, and their hands are coming up, even if they're doing it purposefully. And you don't really see too many people walking through the haunt like this, swinging like this, so their hands are coming up. So if you're doing a scare that is within that front reaction zone, now of course you're doing it outside the reaction zone for your distances, but if they can see you coming, when you're scaring, you have the buffer hand in front of you and just a little bit below. And that way, when the hand comes up, that's where you have a better percentage of stopping it. If you are coming from the side, let's say that the guests are walking this way and you're doing from, say, 45 degrees from behind them, what you're worried about for the reaction zone is this elbow. So here's your distance, of course, but your buffer hand is to be watching for that elbow. So you're scaring in this way. You have the hand ready for that elbow. You can even switch the prop hand, boom, and you're scaring and you still have that buffer hand in the right place. When you're scaring low, now when you're scaring low, you don't really have to worry as much about the arms in the reaction space because it takes them a lot longer to reach down to you. But you do have to worry about possibly a kick. It's not the most natural thing, but it might happen. So when you're scaring low, you want the buffer hand low in front of you to block that kick. The buffer hand is also really useful when you have a prop to protect yourself and protect the guest from it. Now, I'll talk about safety with props later on, everything on the plane, never pointing it right at them, where they could accidentally run into it or get stabbed by it. But we're going to use our buffer hand very similar to a stage combat technique. We're going to create a box. And so whatever I'm doing in here, I have this hand in between me and the guest. So let's say that I'm in a fight scene and there are other people running around. I'm protecting them. I'm using this hand to protect them from my prop from accidentally running into it. And the same thing with the guest. Here I am, whatever I'm doing, I've got this buffer hand and I'm protecting the guest from getting stabbed with the prop. Because even if it's a foam prop, stabbing the guest can be a problem. So that's the basic idea, the buffer hand. It's just another technique to get in the way between the guest that might be swinging, or purposefully or accidentally, reduce the probability of getting hit in the face, the buffer hand. Practice it, get it used to it, get it into your body so that it's second nature, make it part of the character, and stay safe. Scaring with Sammy.